From the belly of the news beast in the shadow of the Freedom Tower, just north of Trinity Church at the corner of Broad and Wall Street. It is Kevin McCullough. It is AFA Today. We're keeping our eye for you here in the middle of the day on all that is news and why it matters to you. And we're asking you to help us with the matter. But I also want you to let us know, has AFR in some way touched your life in recent years? What I want you to do is let us know how. Maybe it's drawn you closer to God. Maybe you now think more critically and more clearly because we've been obliterating confusion together. If any of that's true, please call 800-326-4543 and hit option 8 and leave your message there for us. Now, what I'd like to do is, and Cedra, I don't know, I can't tell by all of your descriptions here, but I want to leave half the phone lines open at all times for people that disagree with me. If we've got 4 people that agree, pick the 2 and then ask the other 2 to call back later. 888-589-8840. Kevin McCullough is my name. Here's what we're talking about. Jan Brewer has not decided yet, as the governor of Arizona, whether she's going to back the people of her state or listen to the worry warts of the Republican Party who are gonna blow their lid if they don't in some way make sure that they don't get embarrassed on the whole gay rights thing, because they're just so worried all the time. One of them is John McCain. One of them is Mitt Romney. One of them is other high-profile Republicans in the state. Former congressman said, this will give us a black eye if we do this. We shouldn't do this. We don't want a black eye. I don't sound very Arizonan. It could be snowbirds moving there from up north. I don't know. But Jan Brewer knows that the voters of her state voted in overwhelming numbers to approve this legislation. And she's up against some tough stuff here.
Deny service to any customer based on their religious beliefs. It passed the Arizona legislature last week, and people on both sides of this issue have been strongly voicing their opinions ever since.
I think it's unnecessary, and I think economically it's bad. And I think from a reputation standpoint, it just gives Arizona a black eye, and we don't need that. And so I think we should avoid that.
This is a human dignity bill. It's a human rights bill. It's an anti-discrimination bill, so people of faith have a safe place in Arizona.
Arizona Governor Jan Brewer can sign, veto, or simply do nothing with the bill. If she does nothing, it automatically becomes law.
All right, so what do you want her to do? You want her to do nothing? You want her to sign the bill into law? What are you desiring her to do? And again, I'm going to give you special preference, since that's what you love, if you happen to be in favor of her vetoing this bill, because I want to know why. I honestly want to understand why you want to take away other people's religious liberties. Sexual liberties aren't in the Constitution. Religious liberties are in the Constitution. Sexual liberties, figment of the imagination. Nobody ever said anywhere that you could have sex anywhere and anyhow and any way you wanted to. We limit sex all the time. All the time we limit sexual activity. We don't let it happen between certain people. We don't let it happen in certain places. We don't let it happen if one person's for it and the other's against it. There are all kinds of laws, which, by the way, might go by the by if we keep on our current track. But currently, there's all kinds of laws that say we can limit sexual expression all the time, and we do it all the time. We limit sex from the time you get up to the time you go to bed. We are so precise in some of our limitations that we put on sexual expression. We send people to jail for it. And you can make the argument, I was born that way. I was on a New York radio talk show this morning, and somebody said, well, you know, I'm with the gays here, Kev, because I think that they have a hard time, and I don't want to. I said, well, first of all, the legislation's not about gays, so that being the case, thank you for offering your explanation on that. But what difference does that make in terms of what we're discussing here? And they're like, well, you know, we shouldn't be discriminating against people. Well, you're discriminating against people by forcing them to do things that violates the core of who they are. How is that not discriminating against people? You're forcing people to engage in stuff that they don't want to engage in. He said, well, you know, if you're born a certain way. I said, listen, I'm born a certain way. I happen to love really good-looking women. I think a good-looking woman is the best gift God gave to earth. But for the purposes of relationship and law and legality and safety in society, we have said to men, you may like good-looking women as they walk down the street. They may even be very improperly dressed. They may have a skirt that goes way up high and a blouse that comes way down low. And they may not even be wearing things underneath. And it doesn't matter how they're dressed. It doesn't matter how you were born. It doesn't matter what you think you were born to do at that moment. All the law says is you cannot force yourself upon that woman. We limit sexual expression continually in our society. We do it all the time. We say under no circumstances is it ever appropriate for you to have sex with an underage child. And why do we do that? Because there are some people that say, I don't know, I was born, I have some sort of, thing in my head where I'm thinking that this is beautiful and God made them and he made me and he wouldn't have made me with these desires if he didn't intend for me to act on them. We say we don't care what your desires are. That's not allowed. Doesn't matter what you think you were born as. Doesn't matter what you think you should be allowed to do. None of that matters. Why? Because for the good of children and society and the family, we say, no, this is a line where we will not allow you to go there. But if you'll notice, there's people trying to get that line erased, moved. So please tell me why this is any different. Please tell me how this is any different than other forms of sexual expression that we have or have not limited over the course of time. And tell me why, even if it is different, you now have the right to force me to take your wedding photographs of you and your bearded bard kissing one another. I guess you're not a bard if you're a guy marrying a guy. Anyway, 888-589-8840. But I would like you to call Jan Brewer because she hasn't made the decision yet. At least I haven't seen it come across the wire. 602-542-4331. 602-542-4331. That's the number to contact the governor of Arizona and to say to her, hey, Jan, follow the people of your state. They voted you in. They voted for this law. Overwhelmingly, this is a good idea. You should follow and listen to the people that you work for because you have an obligation to represent them. 602-542-4331. Call Jan Brewer. Just encourage her nicely. Be winsome. Don't be mean. There's no need to do that. 602-542-4331. All right. Let's see. Let's take Gary, who's calling from Texas. We'll start with Gary. Hi, Gary. Welcome. Glad you're with us.
Mr. McCall.
Gary, are you there?
I'm on my way into a VA appointment, but I just wanted to say we need to pass this bill to see what's in it. And as an employee, or an employer, will I be able to get workers' comp for the post-traumatic stress that I'd be going through?
Gary, are you on some sort of prescription painkillers right now?
No, I wish I was, though.
Okay. So are you for or against the bill?
I'm for the bill.
You're for the bill. Okay. Because I was told you were against the bill. Well, I'm glad you're for the bill. That means you know. Now, see, that part made sense. I couldn't get the other part. Guys, I want to leave phone lines open for people that disagree because I want to put people that disagree to the front of the line. If you have an opposing view, I want to hear why. You've heard my reason for why not. I want to hear your reason for why. 888-589-8840. 888-589-8840. All right. Let's talk to Richard next, also from Texas. Hi, Richard. Man, we're big in Texas today. A whole board full of Texas. Hi, Richard.
Hey, Kevin, thanks a lot. I was going to take a different approach on the discussion. If Governor Brewer vetoes the bill, why shouldn't Christians take their freshly slaughtered pig to a Muslim butcher and demand that he cut some pork chops for them? You think the media and the politicians would have a different idea about all that?
No, because here's the problem. They only care about hurting Christians. See, at the end of the game, this isn't about getting fair treatment for couples that want to go celebrate their, creative sex unions. That's not what this is about. This bill is about killing religion. This bill is about killing faith. It's about stopping one's belief in what is moral or immoral. At the end of the day, that's the goal of the people that want her to veto it. They want faith to become a relic of a past and ancient civilization thrown on the ash heap of history and forgotten about. Now they'll scoff me. They'll scoff at me for saying that. I guarantee you today I will get tweets and Facebook comments, all kinds of things. People go, you're just nuts. We're not trying to kill religion. Yeah, they are. Because this is the part that they can't understand. They have a very hard understanding of this because they don't have any core values that they believe are important for themselves, except that everyone tolerate them while they choose fully to be intolerant of everyone else around them. Here's the issue. At the end of the day, if there is any element of society that says gay sex is immoral, then you're going to have people that are going to say, oh, they're making me feel guilty. And if it just weren't for those religious people, if it just weren't for those people of faith, if it just wasn't for people that believe that ancient, archaic, weird, old value system, then I could feel okay about myself. And here's the really, really sad part of that piece of news, friends. And I want you to listen to me very carefully on this. I mean, very seriously. The day you crucify, kill, and eliminate every Christian on the planet, the day that's done, you get rid of all of them. There's no more Christians there to say that having gay sex is wrong, that engaging in that behavior is immoral, that there's anything wrong or unnatural about it. You eliminate them all off the planet, friend. And listen to this. The very next day, you will still feel just as crummy as you do the day before, because the issue is not what Christians believe and practice. The issue is what you believe about yourself. The issue is what you believe God did or did not do when he made you. And ultimately what this is an issue of is the inability for you to actually trust that God is God. This has nothing to do with getting a photographer for your wedding. This has nothing to do with getting the perfect wedding cake for your commitment ceremony. Has nothing to do with any of that. This is all about killing God. Some people will disagree. I welcome the disagreement. Explain why I'm wrong. 888-589-8840. 888-589-8840. Let's talk to Andre in Louisiana. Andre, welcome. You're on with Kevin McCullough. Hi.
Hi, I'm on the air.
You are.
Great. Yes, I'm against the bill. The bill is
Why?
just
Why?
Well, it's a discrimination bill. It's not an anti-discrimination against Christians.
How does it discriminate?
Well, first of all, the bill isn't even necessary to discriminate.
Okay, Andre, you can't even answer a simple question. How does it discriminate?
It allows people to, well, it's already, let me just take a step back. It's already legal in the state of Arizona. Homosexuals aren't a protected class. So the bill is totally unnecessary.
Andre, you're giving me unnecessary and unasked for extras. Explain to me how the bill discriminates.
Because once you say that someone's religious preference is more important than
their sexual preference?
No, sexual preference or anything. Let me just ask you a hypothetical here.
Okay.
What if an unmarried woman who had a child wanted to go into a place of business, say a bank, and take out a loan or whatever, and would it be okay in Arizona after this bill for them to say, oh, well, no, Jesus spoke against unwed mothers. I refuse to give you any business. Or if someone was divorced, Jesus spoke. Jesus actually
it doesn't cover this bill wouldn't cover the first example as you were just describing. Let me just cut to the chase here. Why does your choice of who you sleep with trump what I believe about God?
It doesn't. We have religious freedom in this country, and
No.
not.
Here's what you don't understand, Andre. Here's what you don't understand.
Tell me.
If I'm a photographer and I do weddings because I celebrate God's creation of the wedding union as something unique and special, and I go and I shoot photos for people, and sometimes people even call this, a ministry. It's a way of helping people celebrate that moment. But I fundamentally know that if I go to the union of two women or two men, that I am violating something inside of me, that there's something inside of me that says I'm not supposed to be doing that. Then you're forcing me to conform with something that violates my conscience. There is not a more violent act in this world than forcing someone to go against their conscience.
Wait, you're saying that forcing a wedding photographer to take photos of a gay couple is more violent than like rape or genocide? How is that more violent?
When you take what is innocent and you force someone to do the opposite, it is the equivalent of rape.
Oh, you are honestly suggesting?
Yes, because what you don't understand, Andre, is you don't have a belief system whereby you hold to any beliefs. So you don't have anything that you feel like is that important to you. You have nothing that's that innocent. And that's the problem. Thanks for the call. Nice try. Swing and a miss. Kevin McCullough coming right back. This is AFA Today on AFR Talk.